What is going on, YouTube people? Well, no restocks in sight, and you know what that means? Prismatic Evolutions prices keep climbing across the board. We have pretty much run the gambit of the full first release wave of Prismatic. The only thing left remaining is booster bundles, which come out first week of March. I believe March 7th, I think, is the official release date for those. Other than that, pretty much all the other SKUs are out. Restocks have basically dried up at retail and in shops. And now we are starting to see prices really take off across the board. We're going to glance at all the Prismatic products to date. First up, ETBs. This is over the last month. Look at that big bad boy chart. This right here was basically release day. They dropped all the way down, basically floored at $100. Now they are back up to the 130s, creeping on the 140s. And they are just going to keep on climbing from there. Cases, sealed cases, are up to 1,400. So you're getting a little bit of a premium on a sealed case. Not much, but a little. Not a ton of these on market. And once again, you could just see from the end of January straight to the moon, they got down to right about $1,000, $1,100 a sealed case, and now we're up to almost 1,400. I wouldn't be surprised if ETBs got up to around 140 or 150 by very early March. Next up, the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes have actually kind of plateaued out. They've been sitting around 325 for about a week or so now. Not super surprising, as the rush of everyone trying to get them once release day hit and no more came to market. So everyone was kind of like, oh, I got a FOMO and run and buy one. I think what happened is a lot of those people went and ran and bought them. That's why you see these big spike ups here shortly after release date. And they've slowly climbed up since, but then as the prices increased, the demand has kind of tailed off a little bit on these. So it seems like they may sit around that 325 mark for a while. Once again, these still scare me a little bit because I feel like we are still going to get another release from Pokemon at some point in time. Even the smaller ancillary collections are on their way up. Binder collections are now almost $80. Those things have really shot up. These were $60 at the beginning or at the end of January, beginning of February. They are now up to almost $80 a pop. Same thing with poster collections. These were going for about $30 at the end of the month, and now they are all the way up to about $35, $36, creeping on 40. Not a huge change there, but only a couple of packs in those bad boys. Tin displays. Now, we're moving into the more recent releases, so they have not had as much time on market, and you could tell that by the lack of upward mobility because there's still some supply hitting. Right around release, these basically kind of floored at around 200. They are currently up to 225, but you can see they are also creeping up on the tin displays. And then the last one is the surprise boxes. These got down to about $60 at its lowest, maybe the very, very high 50s. And currently on market, these are going for about $70. These ones are $66, but with $5 shipping. I know I just saw a lot of 6 of them end last night that went for about $71, $72 a piece by the time you did the math on it. So those have crept up quite a bit. We are starting to see some sales on the Prismatic surprise box promos on PSA graded ones. Be a little careful on those. I kind of want to wait for more to hit the market and maybe do a standalone video on those. But a handful that have sold have gotten shilled pretty hard. There was an Umbreon, which is obviously the big one. One sold for like 800, but it got shilled. If you look at the bid history, it's all zero feedback bidders running it up. One sold more recently around 600. That one looked a lot more legit with the bid history. So if you are looking at the surprise box promos in graded form, just make sure you're double checking the actual sale itself. Don't trust one-offs. Take a couple extra seconds and dig one level deeper and look at the bid history on it and see what the high bidders' feedbacks were. If it's 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 feedback, especially 0, that is typically a major red flag that the listing could have potentially gotten shilled. Now, could a 0 feedback winner pay? Sure, doesn't typically happen. And that one looked sus for a while, getting ran up. But like I said, one did end more recently. I think it actually ended earlier today for around 600, and like a 600 and some feedback winner won that one. And the bid history prior to that also looked pretty solid. I have also seen some of the non-Umbreons, 1 or 2 of those look like they were getting manipulated pretty heavy as well. So once again, be a little bit careful there. The Umbreons are doing about $70 raw, maybe 80. Everything else is doing about 15 to 20, give or take, depending on the individual evolution. I picked up a couple of them. I picked up one Umbreon at a local show this past weekend that I think has a chance to 10. So I'll probably be sending that off. I have a pretty big card show I'm going to this weekend. And then after I get back from that and kind of assess where I'm at, if I pick up any more singles, I may have a grading order going off to PSA pretty quickly here to get some stuff slabbed up. But I want to get through that show before I send things off. Now the question becomes, what do booster bundles do? I did not pull those up, but we can look at those really quickly, as those are the next to release, like I said, in a couple of weeks here. The pre-order prices on those, last I looked, were still extremely high, and they are going to come down. I would not be pre-ordering booster bundles still at this $90 price point. You can see they have tailed off a little bit. I have a feeling when release day hits, these are going to get down into the $50, $60 range, which is still like twice MSRP. They'll probably dip down to there and then climb back up again. I wouldn't mind getting a sealed display of these once they hit, but I'm going to kind of let the market play itself out a little bit, because I think there'll be about probably a week or so window at release / post release where you might have an opportunity to get booster bundles at a relatively reasonable price. But I expect this to follow the same formula. There's going to be that week of release, maybe the week after, a bunch of products going to hit. Everyone's going to be undercutting each other. They're going to drive the prices down. There'll probably be a little window there where you could sneak in and buy. And then I don't expect any restocks anytime soon. So then they're going to start to climb back up again. And even if restocks happen, let's be honest, the market is probably just going to absorb it unless they just go absolutely crazy. And I'm not sure Pokemon has it in them to go absolutely crazy with everything else that they need to get out the door and everything else that they are printing. We also don't even know what they are reprinting. Are we going to see ETB reprints? Are we going to see booster bundle reprints? I would be surprised if we saw surprise boxes. I would be surprised if we saw binder collections and poster collections and sticker collections. Those things that have a lot of ancillary products in them, could they reprint them? Sure, they could. But I feel like they would rather focus their energy on ETBs and specifically on booster bundles. Booster bundles definitely seems like their way of getting supply to market quickly and easily, because it's just 6 booster packs in the box. It's the easiest thing for them to get out the door. So I think you'll see a long run on those. And that goes back to kind of what we have seen in recent times. 151 is still getting booster bundles coming to market. Crown Zenith a couple of months ago was still getting booster bundles coming to market. Surging Sparks has seen multiple little mini restocks of booster bundles over the last month or so. So I think booster bundles are their way to get supply to market quickly. So I could see those getting reprinted more heavily than all the other products combined, to be quite honest. But we will see where things go from there. Regardless, Prismatic is on the way up as supply dries up. And now everyone looks to Pokemon Center to see when the reprints are going to hit. As always, curious for your comments down below. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.